can do that.
Okay.
FanDuel is America's
Open
number
it up
one
to the
sportsbook.
public.
Unquestioned, undoubtedly, and right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your team wins. You can bet on all your favorite NBA players, including the Cavs and teams and Donovan Mitchell and all of the above, with quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and much more. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and shoot your shot. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. If you have a winning ticket, make sure you send it to us on Twitter as well to be featured on the show. Jay, you alluded to this before. I just slept like crap last night. I was thinking of ways to make NBA All-Star Weekend better.
Right.
And in the Olympics, I always thought in the Olympics, they should always have a regular dude participate in all the events just to show how much better the Olympians are than a regular person. So my idea to save the dunk contest, and you guys chime in, let me know how we could tweak this. I'm not sure exactly how we pick the Joe for this example, but I'm going to a pros versus Joes.
Right.
The Joes have to dunk on an 8-foot rim. The pros have to do it on an 11-foot rim. So G. Bush, for example, let's say Earl's a high flyer. Earl's got to do a dunk on an 8-foot rim. Jaylen Brown has to match whatever Earl did on the 11-foot rim. And there's a chance that Earl Malden beats Jaylen Brown in a dunk contest. It's city by city, so it has to be a representative of said city. So for this example, that's what I'm saying. This is not exactly hammered out. These are the broad details.
How about you just do a sign-up amateur contest?
Perfect. And then if it's in Cleveland, the Cleveland representative would face the Cavaliers representative.
I'm in. I'll watch that.
And it's a pro versus Joe. 8. Maybe we have to raise it to 9 foot if it's too easy.
But 11 foot, bro, that is a...
Well, we've already seen they've done every dunk possible on a 10-foot rim.
Let's
raise the stakes. So it's an average Joe, regular dude, versus a pro, 8 foot for the... maybe 9 foot, maybe have to raise it up, versus an 11 foot. The NBA player has to match the Joe. And that's how they win. Earl, what's your question?
9 foot, I'm coming from the free throw line, between the legs, reverse 360 tomahawk.
You can't even dribble between the legs.
Don't matter. It don't matter. I'm going to be in the air.
When you're in the air.
I'm going to be in the air like this. I'm going to be in the air.
Actually, McNuggets, if you watch, there's a channel online called Ball is Life. They got street ballers and guys like that. And they have these dunk contests where they be dunking and doing all kind of crazy stuff. Here's the thing. Those guys can do it on 10-foot rims. Like, these dudes are the best dunkers in the world. For a long time, people used to think that the best jumpers and dunkers were in the NBA. That's not necessarily true. There's guys out there that can really, really fly.
Me.
Earl, look, give Earl that trampoline. He ready to go.
I can fly. I can't dribble, but I can fly.
Some of the players said the best part of NBA All-Star Weekend was the high-flying, the two teams that brought their high-flying dunkers.
and the Nuggets, I believe.
Pacers were one of them. Like, can you imagine that? One of the players said,
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis. The best part was the intermission dunkers.
Well, see, here's how they...
Man, that's an indictment on your All-Stars.
Here's how they got to do it, though. This supposed to be a year-long thing, bro. You have to obviously tape it in the summertime or whatever, but you would tape it where you would be going through these regional finals and stuff, and you would have different cities represent different cities. Like, you would have a Oprah run in Chicago, Oprah run in L.A. You would tape it. You would follow the lives of these people and be like, let's get to actually know these people. Put it on TV and then play it after one of your games. Like, play it after a TNT game, the Suns versus the Wizards or something, and you could play it. So then people at least get to know about it, know about these individuals, right? Because you put it on TV. And then you always make it better with the bag. Like, you talking, if you want somebody to care, give them life-changing money. Say it's $2-3 million.
We're getting to the incentives. Don't worry. That's part of my big plan.
But
I like your idea.
I thought of that too.
I like your idea, G.
Like, it just be, I got to tell you, I know that the NBA is saying that these are huge numbers. They're up 54%. 10 million views.
Not a lot.
For the tentpole event of the midseason
the
for the
first
NBA
weekend
All-Star?
without football, too.
That's abysmal, guys.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp has almost 20 million views just interviewing Cat Williams.
Yeah.
And there were no dunks.
No dunks at all.
Oh, no, wait, there were dunks.
There was multiple dunks. And helmet-to-helmet contact.
That's true. He dunked on everybody.
Stay away from Club Shay Shay. True, man. You got to stay away from Club Shay Shay.
Next up,
man.
the three-point shootout's the best part of NBA All-Star Weekend right now, but here's how you make it better. Instead of racks that they just take the ball off and shoot, we have passers and you get closed out on. And each shot, so your first closeout is like a 5-5 guy. Your second closeout, 5'10". Third, 6'2", fourth, 6'5", and you get almost a 7-footer closing out. I want to see these guys shooting under pressure, under a time limit. You got to deal with a bad pass here and there. I like the 3-point shootout, but I think you add passers and
I would be
closeouts
for that,
of
too.
increasing height
I
increments.
thought this was the best
would be
idea
fun.
he had.
Yeah, I would 100% be for that.
Can I add something to it?
Of course.
I like the stakes to be a little bit higher. I would like you to be in a K9 police dummy outfit, and then the closeout is a K9 Ren 1010.
Man, what?
Now you have to get paid. Like
Now I'll watch that.
Now listen, can you imagine Steph Curry with the dummy suit with the they got the arm that like, but now you got to close out. You know the dog is coming at you. You know, be like this. You got to close out.
Now
He
that's
side
pressure.
dribble. Yeah, that's pressure for you know what? If they hit jumper sidestepping K9 dogs, I'm watching it.
Yeah, I'd
That's
probably
fun,
watch
G.
that.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, the skills competition was an abomination. So we're just erasing it completely.
terrible.
We're going to have these guys just play horse. I don't know if you saw Luka hit 2 50-foot rainbow shots. You had Steph hit it from the crowd. Just play horse. That'll be more entertaining. Trust me. We don't have to talk about that. The All-Star game, it's never going to be a race completely. In a perfect world, it'd be a 1v1 tournament. Winner gets $2 million. Will never happen, but that would be best. So because we know
Yes, sir. That's a great idea.
It'll-
Is it 3 dribbles?
we do whatever we want. 3 dribbles, 2
3
dribble.
dribble max.
I prefer 3 dribble personally, but whatever they want. But we know the game's not going away, G.
There'd be hands thrown in that.
That game,
Because now individual pride is on the line.
Yes.
you could like that game. I don't see how Kevin Durant loses. I mean, he go watch if you want to watch that. Go watch the USA basketball team.
Him, Kyrie. Yep.
Yeah.
Great video.
It's funny, before you continue, Mike, it was one play during the All-Star game. Kevin Durant was one-on-one with Dame, and he took him to the rack, and he told him, he said, "You too little."
Yeah, he did.
He was like, "You too little."
And then Dame came back with a half-court step-back 3.
Yeah.
The one-on-one thing is the real fix. The NBA will never do it, but that is the one real fix. So because I know they're never getting rid of the game, I have 4 suggestions to
What
fix
about
the
a
game.
half-court shooting competition? These aren't Chucks anymore.
I'd watch that.
They
And
can stand there and shoot these things and make them.
You're on my wavelength, Jay. Trust me,
Okay.
I'm getting to that. So this is how you fix the All-Star game itself. It's not going to go away. You want to make it better. I have 4 ideas. 1, you allow players to gamble on it, and they have to tell you what they gambled on before. So let's, for example, Dame Lillard.
Yeah,
bets
that'll
on-
never happen.
Bets on
You
these are
did.
never going to happen. This
Yeah.
is how you make it more fun. Dame Lillard, I bet over 32.5 points for myself. But they have the tickets up on the bottom of the screen, so you know exactly what they bet on. All right, let's say Dame's playing defense on Tyrese Maxey. He bet Tyrese Maxey under 14 points. It's in the fourth quarter. Maxey's sitting at 11. We get some built-in defense. If you knew what these guys gambled on, and they had to publicize, make 2 bets each, and you knew what they were playing for, it would add a level of competitiveness and excitement from the very first tip
Yeah.
to the end. Never going to happen.
No, and
but
I
this would be
think
fun
that's
as hell.
a horrible idea.
It'd be fun as hell.
Okay, it might be fun, but
G, what do you think?
Yeah, they're not gambling. Like, I'm gonna put the wager out. There's stupid football dudes that do it in real life, like they ain't gonna get caught. Like,
I know.
that's
Well, they'd be allowed. This would be the one-day exception where you're allowed.
yeah, I think it's a horrible precedent to set.
Take this heroin, only one day allowed.
Yeah.
Man,
Now I know
what?
Adam Silver was the
What is going
first
on
commissioner
here?
to embrace
Pineapple.
gambling, but he's not going to put his arms around it like that. What about this, Mike? What about a best shot contest?
Like horse.
No, one shot. Everybody's got one shot. However many people come in, and so it's 10 feet behind the goal, and I'm going to make it. It's 10 rows up from half court, Globestotter trial.
That's
horse.
Great. That's great.
No, it's not horse because horse is a game of multiple shots.
Oh, so like a one-letter horse, essentially.
It's just, and then everybody gets a jut. Everybody, first of all, if you don't make it, I guess it wasn't a good shot. So everybody that makes their shot, their impossible shot, then you get a score once you make the shot. And so let's say it's Steph, and he's standing under the goal opposite of the one he's shooting on. And from a set push position, not a run, he makes it. That's unbelievable. That's incredible. I'll give that a 10. So based on the difficulty of the shot, the judges can award a score. I would like to see from a creativity standpoint, because the dunk contest, it's all been done.
I'm for using that to replace the skills competition, the dunk competition.
Okay.
But these next ones are just on the game itself.
All right.
To make the game better. Second, idea to make the game itself better. We saw the in-season tournament work because they paid everyone $500,000. Mm-hmm. It was part of the regular season. I know it's not apples to apples. How about every player on the winning team gets $1 million, the MVP gets $9 million?
$9 million.
$20 million. So winning team gets $20 million, $9 million to the MVP, which gives you a massive incentive to try hard to win MVP.
But isn't everybody going to be just never giving the ball up then?
So what's going to change?
Well, there's some sharing going on. Not much.
Maybe assist counts more in the voting.
I don't know.
But if you had a $9 million pot for
10
MVP,
10. It's every man for himself.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to think of ways to make this game better. You put $9 million on the line for the MVP, G, I think we're going to see a much better product.
I think what they should do is I think every player should sponsor a family. And like based on how you play or what you're so how I would do is if you all the stats count, right? You make it where like, hey, if you get a double, this family gets this amount of money, right? If you plan for somebody and you know they ain't got it, you'll play hard. You'll like because you're like, well, I'm already rich, bro, but like if I could get this family $1 million, like, you know what I'm saying? If everybody sponsor a player like on the team, and they know for a fact they didn't read their story, like you can make it crazy where like that family's gonna get $1 million based on if you won or not. Be like, man, I'll play hard as heck.
I would hope they would, but
Money.
Who knows?
That's a creative idea. I think the best way to do it, which will never happen, the best way to make the game ultra competitive and you getting 100% max effort, like if you can have a conversation with God first and say whoever is on the losing team, if y'all lose by more than 6, you die tomorrow.
Dang.
Bet your ass will be playing hard.
He's out here playing.
Earl went a little further
Out
than
here
I
playing
did.
the Hunger Games.
He went to the Salvation.
Bet you'll play hard, yeah.
Like, that's some crazy.
My last two ideas, Jay, you alluded to half-court shootout. I want 4-point lines and 5-point lines.
I'm
in the
down with
All-Star
that.
Game. 4-point is from 30 feet, and then 5 points essentially from half court.
Or
and
beyond.
just add that to the game, make it more fun. We already see Dame pulling up from half court with ease. It would turn into a lot of guys chucking, which may not make it better, but at least there's a little more incentive.
That'd be hard to watch if you got dudes just shooting fives all day.
So if you mean to tell me this Cat McNuggets is trying to make this rock and jock b-ball. Remember the 25
it's awfully
point,
gimmicked.
The 25-point shot that used to come from the rim, down from the ceiling, right?
Yep.
Here's the thing too. I would tell it like I would have another rim. If you're gonna gimmick it out, just make it all gimmicky. I would pull a side rim out and have it at 11. Have it at 11 feet. And then
6 points.
For that dunk is worth 10. If you dunk it on a 10 on a 12-foot rim, we give you.
Could you imagine the defense not knowing which goal to defend?
That's crazy, right? Because you going baseline, you could just be like, "Oh my gosh, they thought he was going baseline, but he dunked it."
An idea that didn't make my list was playing with 2 balls. And
Pause.
Yeah, you.
I mean,
did.
having
Why
two
would
basketballs?
you even like? Why would you even come after me like that?
I know. After
what is
G's,
good?
2
Pineapples.
Well, having just 2
excursion.
basketballs in play at all time.
Okay.
And having teams try to figure out. But here's what I really think would be the best solution. I genuinely think this is the best way to go about
I'm not listening to you no more. I'm being
Instead
totally
of East
honest.
versus West, instead of captains, let's do Team USA versus Team World. So this year.
No, that I would watch.
So this year, for example, based on All-Stars this season, Team USA would have been LeBron, Durant, Steph, Anthony Davis, and Donovan Mitchell.
Yep.
Versus Jokic, Luka, Giannis, SGA, and Embiid. That's your starting 5s for Team World and Team USA. You're telling me you're not going to watch that? And granted, it's an All-Star game. They're not going to play super hard. But I have to imagine if it's Team USA versus Team World, they give a little bit more effort. And
there's more interest.
Exactly.
Like, even if you're not a fan of watching the All-Star game, and, look at the Olympics. We don't know ass about curling, but if you tell us that USA and Canada are in the curling finals, next thing you know, we're all curling experts.
Facts.
We don't know what a triple sow cow is, except for
Facts.
during the Olympics.
Facts.
Because when you put a USA flag on it, then it becomes patriotic. And there is that's a great idea, Mike, because there is a real rift going on right now about the NBA being taken over by European players and just international players. So maybe they can capitalize on that. And if you're not playing that game with pride, I would be stunned.
You know, McNuggets, I would tie everything that they do into a formula for all NBA. I would like, that goes from how many games you play. What did you do? Did you make the All-Star team? What did you do in the All-Star game? The mid-season tournament, did your team make the championship? Did you win it? And I would have every single thing that those things moving towards whether you make All-NBA or not. Because All-NBA to me is like, it is a created thing that the league has. It's not the MVP or Defensive Player of the Year, but All-NBA dictates how much money you actually do make. Like, it's like, if you haven't made a first or second All-NBA team, that's a big thing for some people. Like, I make it all incentivized to say, all right, well, look, if you want to be an All-NBA, you better play hard during the All-Star game because this counts.
They did World versus Team USA for the Rookie Rising Stars Challenge a few years ago. They got rid of it, and now they have the G League.
Why? Do you know that? Why?
They want to incorporate the G League, and they end up getting more players this way.
Yeah.
But they did it for.
How did it go when it was World?
It was more competitive, but the Rising Stars Challenge is always more competitive because it's young guys who are in the All-Star game. So I'm not sure it's an exact apples to apples.
Sure.
But I do think, especially with how much talent there is.
Which team won?
I think it was pretty back and forth, to be totally honest. I'll double check by the end of the show. I don't have it in front of me, but I think it was back and forth. There have been some really good, like Luka played on the international team when he was 16 or whatever, and that's when the NBA scouts got their first, holy crap, this guy's going to be special look. But there's so much international talent right now. I think if you did split it up, there'd be more competition, and who wouldn't want to see the best Europeans and around the world players versus the best the Americans have to offer? Like, it'd be kind of fun. So those are my options, my ideas to fix NBA All-Star Weekend. They'll never happen, but always fun to speculate.